Ballistic missiles are among the most feared and consequential weapons in modern geopolitics, capable of changing the course of conflicts in mere minutes. Iran's growing missile arsenal is at the center of global concern, drawing the attention of governments, analysts, and citizens worldwide. When a nation like Iran, positioned at the crossroads of continents in conflict, advances its missile technology, the stakes rise for everyone. Its geography alone makes its military developments especially significant, as its reach extends into volatile regions and beyond. The world's anxiety isn't just about conventional warfare, it's about the possibility that these missiles could one day deliver nuclear weapons, fundamentally altering the balance of power in the Middle East and potentially sparking a new arms race. Iran's nuclear program and missile development have accelerated in tandem, creating a flashpoint that forces world leaders to constantly reassess the threat. The intertwining of these programs raises questions about Iran's ultimate intentions and the region's future stability. Every missile test and satellite launch adds urgency, as Iran's capabilities grow more sophisticated and its intentions remain hotly debated. Each new development is closely watched, fueling both speculation and concern. For Israel, Saudi Arabia, and the United States, this is not a distant worry, it's a daily security challenge. These nations must constantly adapt their defenses and strategies to counter the evolving threat. The proliferation of missile technology threatens decades-old non-proliferation treaties and could destabilize the global order. International efforts to control missile spread are being tested like never before. To understand the real risk, we need to look past the headlines and examine what Iran's missiles can actually do, how they've evolved, and what technical barriers remain. Only by understanding the details can we separate fact from fear. This isn't about fear-mongering, it's about clear-eyed analysis of a threat that could reshape the balance of power, not just in the Middle East but potentially on a global scale. The shadow of Iran's missiles stretches far, and understanding their true reach is a responsibility we all share. The implications go beyond borders, affecting security calculations worldwide. Let's break down the science, the history, and the stakes, so we can better grasp why Iran's missile program matters now more than ever. Iran's missile program was born out of necessity during the brutal Iran-Iraq War, a conflict that would shape the nation's military doctrine for decades to come. When Iraqi Scud missiles rained down on Iranian cities, the devastation was immense. Homes, schools, and entire neighborhoods were reduced to rubble, and thousands of civilians lived in constant fear. Lacking effective air defenses, Iran's leaders realized the country was dangerously exposed. This vulnerability sparked a relentless drive for self-sufficiency and a determination to never be caught unprepared again. In the early years, Iran's efforts depended heavily on imported Scud-B missiles from Libya and North Korea. But these stopgap measures were never enough. Iran's real ambition was to master the technology and build its own arsenal from the ground up. Iranian engineers painstakingly reverse-engineered these foreign systems, learning from every component and failure. Their work led to the creation of the Shahab missile family, marking a turning point in Iran's technological capabilities. Throughout the 1990s and 2000s, Iran's missile program advanced rapidly. The country moved from simply copying foreign designs to developing its own, such as the Shahab 3, which could reach targets far beyond Iran's borders, and later, more advanced solid-fueled missiles. Solid-fueled systems like the Sejil and Fateh 110 were true game-changers. Unlike older liquid-fueled missiles, they could be launched quickly, were harder to detect and intercept, and could survive a first strike, making them a formidable part of Iran's arsenal. Today, Iran boasts the largest and most diverse missile arsenal in the Middle East. This vast array of missiles forms the backbone of its deterrence strategy, allowing Iran to project power and influence across the region. Without a modern air force, Iran relies on its missile forces to threaten adversaries, defend its territory, and assert itself as a regional power. For many Iranians, this missile arsenal is a source of national pride, a symbol of resilience and technological achievement. But it's also a major point of contention in international diplomacy, fueling tensions with rival nations. For the West, Iran's missile program is seen as a tool of intimidation and destabilization, raising concerns about regional security and the balance of power. The journey from defenseless victim to regional missile power has fundamentally altered the Middle East's strategic landscape, ensuring that Iran's missile ambitions will remain at the heart of global debates for years to come. To grasp the threat, let's look at Iran's main missiles. The Shahab 3, a liquid-fueled medium-range missile, can reach Israel, Saudi Arabia, and parts of Europe. Its improved cousin, the Ghadra 1, offers greater range and accuracy. The real leap came with solid-fueled missiles like the Sejil, fast to launch, hard to intercept, and a sign of Iran's growing technical prowess. Iran's Fateh 110 family, short-range and highly accurate, has been used in regional conflicts and supplied to proxies like Hezbollah, creating a multi-front threat. Iran's space program, with rockets like the Saphir and Simorgh, uses technology directly applicable to long-range ballistic missiles. Every satellite launch is a potential step toward intercontinental missile capability. The dual-use nature of this technology keeps the world watching closely. Putting a nuclear warhead on a missile is a massive engineering challenge, involving a complex blend of science, technology, and precision manufacturing. It's not just about attaching a bomb to a rocket. Every step must be meticulously planned and executed. The first hurdle is miniaturization, shrinking a nuclear device to fit inside a missile's nose cone. This requires advanced materials and innovative design to ensure the warhead is both small and powerful enough to be effective. The warhead must survive the extreme heat and forces of re-entry, requiring advanced heat shields and robust engineering. Temperatures can soar to thousands of degrees, and the structure must remain intact for the warhead to function. Precision is critical. The warhead must detonate at the right altitude, demanding reliable fusing and hardened electronics. These systems must resist intense vibrations, radiation, and electromagnetic pulses during flight. All these systems must work together flawlessly, which means extensive testing, something that can't be faked with simulations alone. Real-world data is essential to ensure every component performs as expected. Full-scale flight tests are needed to prove the design works under real-world conditions. These tests are expensive, risky, and closely monitored, but they are the only way to guarantee reliability. Integrating a nuclear warhead with a missile is a years-long, resource-intensive process. It demands a highly skilled workforce, secure facilities, and constant oversight to prevent errors or accidents. Even with advanced missiles, the leap to a reliable nuclear delivery system is steep. The difference between a conventional and a nuclear missile is far more than just the warhead. It's a leap in complexity and risk. This technical barrier is one of the last major obstacles for any aspiring nuclear missile power. Overcoming it requires not just technology, but secrecy, security, and international scrutiny. For Iran, these challenges remain formidable, but not insurmountable. With enough resources, expertise, and determination, even the most daunting obstacles can eventually be overcome. Iran's top missiles, like the Shahab 3 and Sejil, can theoretically carry the weight of a first-generation nuclear warhead, but lifting a heavy payload is only part of the equation. The real test is building a re-entry vehicle that can protect a nuclear warhead during its fiery descent. Evidence suggests Iran hasn't fully mastered this technology yet. Accuracy is another hurdle. Older missiles were notoriously imprecise, and while Iran has improved guidance on some systems, it's unclear if this extends to its longest-range missiles. In short, Iran has the rockets but may not yet have the specialized re-entry vehicles or the precision needed for a credible nuclear deterrent. The gap is narrowing, but key technical challenges remain. The world's intelligence agencies are watching closely to see how quickly Iran can close it. The race is on, but the finish line hasn't been crossed. The International Atomic Energy Agency, IEA, monitors Iran's nuclear activities, confirming uranium enrichment far beyond civilian needs. U.S. and Israeli intelligence agencies report that Iran has the largest missile force in the Middle East and is working to shorten the timeline to a bomb. Many experts agree Iran has the theoretical knowledge for warhead design, but weaponization, the final step, remains unproven. Think tanks track missile tests and analyze satellite imagery, highlighting Iran's progress and remaining gaps. The consensus Iran's missile program is mature and growing, and its nuclear program is a question of political will, not technical ability. The big unknown is how long it would take Iran to build and test a miniaturized warhead and reliable re-entry vehicle. Estimates range from months to a few years, keeping policymakers on high alert. Vigilance is the watchword as the world waits for the next move. Iran's missile advances ripple across the Middle East, triggering arms races and new alliances. For Israel, the threat is existential, driving investment in advanced missile defenses and a policy of nuclear ambiguity. Gulf states like Saudi Arabia and the UAE, targeted by Iranian-backed groups, have responded with massive arms purchases and closer ties to Israel. U.S. military bases in the region are within range, forcing heavy investment in missile defense and shaping American strategy. Diplomacy, sanctions, and military deterrence are all in play, but the cycle of action and reaction continues. Iran claims its missiles are defensive, but neighbors see them as tools of aggression. This perception gap fuels a regional arms race, raising the risk of miscalculation and conflict. The region remains on edge, where one spark could ignite a major confrontation. Iran has built a formidable missile force and advanced its nuclear program to the brink of weapons capability. The two tracks, missile and nuclear, are converging, raising the stakes for the region and the world. The biggest unknown is Iran's progress on weaponization, miniaturizing a warhead and building a reliable re-entry vehicle. A sudden breakthrough or political decision could rapidly change the balance. A nuclear-armed Iran could shatter the global non-proliferation regime and trigger a cascade of proliferation across the Middle East. The risks of miscalculation, accidental war, or nuclear terrorism would rise dramatically. Iran may not have a deployable nuclear missile yet, but it has assembled most of the pieces. The potential is real, the gap is closing, and the peril is immense. We stand at a crossroads in the story of Iran's missile and nuclear ambitions. The path to a functional nuclear missile is now a matter of engineering and political will, not insurmountable barriers. The world's response, diplomacy, deterrence, or confrontation, will shape the future of global security. The stakes are high for every nation, not just those in the Middle East. The spread of missile and nuclear technology challenges old rules and demands new solutions. The final chapter is unwritten. How will the world choose to write it? The answer will define the next era of international security.